With that, we get a rundown of what else is happening on this Thursday morning. Charlotte with those details. Morning.
Morning. And the Foreign Secretary William Hague will try to draw a line under rumours about his private life today when he holds talks with the German Foreign Minister. It comes a day after he issued a deeply personal statement denying having a relationship with a male advisor. Our political correspondent Neil Patterson is in Westminster. And Neil, what's been the reaction to all of this?
Well, there have been...
And video footage has emerged of a car crash in the United States that gives a whole new meaning to the term drive-through. After falling asleep at the wheel, the driver of this car lost control and crashed straight into the front of the shop. Well, luckily, the owner and his wife had just locked up for the night moments earlier, so there wasn't anyone inside. Bit of a shock for the driver when he woke up. And look at the state of the shop. You wouldn't be happy with that, would you?
Bit like a comedy film, that, isn't it? The speed that car's going. That's
it was a bit like
scary.
a stunt.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed. OK, Charlotte, thank you very much indeed. Let's run through those newspapers. Hello, good morning to you. Wherever you're watching us from this morning, let us know where you're watching us from this morning. Charlotte's always interested in these things. News@sky.com, at Sky Charlotte, at Eamon Holmes. James Whale, he's at the newspapers very shortly with his opinions on what's happening there. Good to see you, James.
Morning.
Leading the news this morning, Barack Obama has got the papers coming your way with James Whale right after this. We name who the Stig is. Do you care? Let us know this morning. But the BBC care that he is being named the Top Gear driver. After Charlotte with a rundown of what else is happening.
And the Foreign Secretary is today trying to draw a line under rumours about his private life today when he holds talks with the German Foreign Minister. It comes a day after William Hague issued a deeply personal statement. Thank
you, Charlotte. With me now to take a look through the morning newspapers, LBC's Drive Time host, Mr. James Whale. Very nice to see you, James. And it's this story which has surprised many people. Front pages of the papers after a statement yesterday. The Foreign Secretary, William Hague.
Yes, William Hague, who has said, I never had a gay affair. Apparently there have been rumours of such of him and his assistant, Christopher Myers. Christopher Myers has quit over these allegations because he's found it hard to take. He's decided to go. Some political pundits have actually said the reason he went is that he shouldn't have been employed in the first place. He's 25 and too young to be a special advisor. I feel so, if you read the story and everything that William Hague has said and the story of the miscarriages, I feel quite sorry for William Hague. But here is a thing, OK? If you happen to be even the shadow minister, let alone the minister, there are two things you don't do, I think. You don't do anything that could lead anybody to speculate about you, and you never... And if you want to be a politician, you all remember this, you never wear a white T-shirt and a baseball cap and glasses.
Yeah.
Now, how would it look if you and I went out of here later in white T-shirts, sunglasses and baseball caps?
It was the long sleeves on the white T-shirt, which is the worst thing.
That is the real fashion faux pas. And I think that is the big story today.
As a matter of fact, if you wore a baseball cap, you would look very like William Hague.
Some people have made that comment.
It's true, actually.
Oh, you can stop it. It's either that or Harry Hill. Now, which is it?
It's a cross between
the two,
so?
I think. Do you like the tie today, by the way, after last week?
Yeah.
I thought I'd try a little sombre number.
Yeah, there'll be more complaints today,
really?
Don't worry. There will be.
OK.
Right, we move on now to the Stig. Who dares wheel spins, it says here. I would add, who cares?
Who cares? Tony Blair might care. We'll talk about him in a moment because this became nearly as popular yesterday and today as Tony Blair. Here we are. It's I like Top Gear. I think it's a great programme. Nobody can really dislike Jeremy Clarkson taking the mick. And this is a little feature in this programme that really doesn't matter one way or the other, I don't think. But the BBC have seen fit, and this is the crucial point, the BBC have seen fit to waste about £100,000, although they won't say exactly how much, of our money on fighting a court case. For what reason? For what reason? This guy, obviously he's not going to be this, the Stig anymore. He's a former SAS man. He apparently is a stunt driver in James Bond films. And he won't be the Stig anymore. But they've had a couple of people who've played this part.
I'm sure, yeah.
Who cares?
No, I don't care.
I care because it's a waste of money, and quite frankly, they're moaning about they have a pension deficit, and they waste money on this. Appalling. Tony Blair.
Charlotte cares, apparently.
I just think that over the years there has been a lot of speculation as to who the Stig is, so I think some people will be interested to find out.
Do you watch Top Gear, Charlotte?
Yeah, I do sometimes, yeah.
Do you? Why?
You're such a
You're a
fibber.
girl.
I do watch it.
You're
I
not
do.
interested in cars.
I am.
You're not
Okay.
You
interested
too.
in cars.
Just honestly, don't pigeonhole people.
Why
Just
not?
because I'm a girl, I can watch Top Gear and be interested by it, and be interested who the Stig is.
No, oh, well done, Charlotte.
Yeah, okay.
Right, Tony Blair's book.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say, and who cares? But I suppose this is a piece of history that we have to care about. I think the thing that really annoyed me more than anything else, and practically everything, and I haven't read the book, I've just skipped through it like everyone else, is that he said, I knew Gordon Brown would be a rubbish Prime Minister. Well, why the hell did you leave him in charge then? You know, Tony Blair going around. He said, I knew Gordon Brown would be no good as a Prime Minister. Well, what do you think you did, leaving him in charge of the country? It's a bizarre book from a man who obviously thinks that this is going to make it all right. I've no idea. And also goes on to say that, well, maybe we'll have to invade Iran. You'd think he'd have had his full fill of war, wouldn't you? The most amusing bit, though, is the Prince of Wales story, where he asked Blair, does Prescott normally sit with his legs akimbo, slide down the chair and balance a cup of tea on his fat stomach? But I imagine, yes, he probably does. That's exactly the sort of person Prescott appears to be.
OK, let's talk about climate change now.
Oh,
and
one of my favourite.
There's indications from the European Union that motorists should be taxed more, fuel should be taxed more.
Yeah. Well, you see, none of this will save the planet. Sorry, Charlotte. None of this is going to make a flipping difference, because it won't. And it's just a way of getting more tax, and now they're beginning to realise. A report by energy and climate change consultants carried out for the European Commission Directorate for Climate Action says it will be used to help develop the long-term policy framework. They are just getting themselves ready to try and tax us out of existence. If it wasn't for us motorists, this world would cease to exist.
Well, it's very interesting. I read this week that the planet Mars is heating at the exact same rate as the Earth.
Yeah.
What are they going to do about the motorists on Mars? That's
Well, you
what I
see,
want to know.
yeah,
on the
because
road
they're
tax.
driving those invisible cars, and it still doesn't make any difference. What? I feel a lot of angst coming from this side, Rachel. What?
Stop it, you just do it on purpose. The only thing, I think they're tackling it from the wrong way around, that they should do things like improving public transport before doing things like taxing motorists more to use their cars. Because what are people supposed to do if they don't want to use their car, they don't want to pay the tax, then at the moment the public transport isn't there for them to use a good alternative.
Rachel, when did
You should be a
last
minister.
use public transport? She doesn't. How much
She
does it
does.
cost you
She's
to
very
walk
good.
on
I
a
think I
bus?
do, I get the train actually.
Yeah, of
into
course.
town.
She's very
Yeah.
committed.
Is she?
She is.
Okay.
Which
This is a good story.
I said you should be a minister, but you are, of course, a bishop's daughter. and it's very interesting to see this Stephen Hawking, front page of the Times, new book from him, and he says, James...
Well, he says that God did not create the universe. The Big Bang was an inevitable consequence of the laws of physics, which I think is probably right. But, you know, believing in God does give a lot of people solace, and having a kind of spiritual side is a good thing. I think it's a very good thing. I think the excessive religious bigotry around the world is a very bad thing. But this will get people talking again. I think it's a jolly good idea too, as we are on the cusp of the visit of the Pope to this country, which I know you're all getting terribly excited about, Charlotte, aren't you?
I am. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I know you are. Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly on, Hawkins' book is a significant breakaway from previous views he's published on religion. It'll really wind a lot of your friends up, obviously, because you are very committed, I know, to this sort of thing. But it's an interesting to look at a different angle, is it not?
Okay.
I've got a bishop's daughter one side and a would-be bishop on the other side.
So, and that's your profound pronouncement on this. That's all you've got to say.
Yeah, quite frankly, I think it's all quite...
Okay.
I go back to the Stig, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, well, we've got the Stig, we've got the Tony Blair book, we've got the climate change, and we've got Hawking saying God did not create the universe. And most people would say, there are a lot more important things in our lives to worry about, aren't there?
But not as entertaining. Thank you very much, James Mill. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I
very
feel
much.
better for that.
Good. We'll bring you...